Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer. Welcome to Alt Fiends for Fun and Profit. Tonight, we're going to be seeing a lot of interesting things. I'm Fried Potato, joined in the booth by Woo Bear. How's it going, Woo?
Yeah, that's me. I'm going pretty good. Going pretty good.
Very excited to be here tonight. See, we've already got some interesting characters on the screen. I know that we've got some blur things available for these characters as well as key items. Maybe we should start with that, give everybody an idea of what these players are going to be starting with, and then we can roll into talking a little more about the interesting flags that are set up for this week.
Interesting, quote unquote.
Yeah, that is definitely a word. I know the runners have some ideas about the flags and how much they like them, or maybe don't sometimes. They're very, very interesting as far as what you're going to see throughout the seed.
Yeah.
Uh,
First up, thief. So this flag set has characters. They start with a key item. It doesn't take it out of the pool. It's still in the pool. But it just breaks logic a little bit. So thief has chime. All the runners are taking the same party. Looks like. Yeah. So yeah, thief chime 20 int, which is a fun new one. Int increases healing cap, the amount of healing that they can do, including heal potions, which is relevant for them, and also the higher range of crits for like any offensive magic. So generally higher damage on it, which is cool.
yeah, it's nice to see. And the thief, not the character you're typically going to get the most bang for the buck out of
No.
that, but those heal pots will potentially be a big deal sort of throughout the seed, at least conserving, menu time and money.
But yeah, it also has Hurt Dragon. Could be relevant because Hollow Dragons is on. There's going to be a lot of dragon fights potentially. And minus 30 HP. Could be worse. They don't have a ton of HP to begin with, but it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he will dodge enough or die, as these typically do, and the runners will make do, depending on how often he's dead.
Yeah, a little quicker rundown fighter. Starts with the adamant, 800 money, which is good, and buff magic, minus 10 agility, which does not matter. Red mage starts with the herb, 20 mdef, 2 level 1 MP, which is cool, depending on what that is, and no invis 2, not a big deal. Black mage is kind of fun. Starts with the crown, hurt all, irrelevant on the black mage, sadly doesn't count for spells, and elemental plus magic with minus 1 mdef per level, so nothing too bad there.
No, nothing, that makes you just say, no, I'm not going to take one of these and I'm going to double up on the intro, even foregoing a key item. And I think even, we might see these parties all the way through the game, I think.
Yeah, this is like a great party. I think just top to bottom. So the draft was nice. This is an 8-player draft for this flag set. Fighters and red mages are guaranteed. The other ones are tri-state, which is the big theme of this one, tri-state. So things could be on, they could be off.
Right? We had a tri-stream or a tri-flag restream, sort of for the runners. We had some difficulties. They weren't sure exactly when we're going to start, where we're
We
going to
might
start,
restream,
and
we
it
might not.
goes through the whole flag set has a little bit of that sprinkled in, and it makes it interesting because you don't know. Even sometimes when you find out where something is, you're not sure sort of what state that flag was really in.
Mm-hmm. As part of the fun part, it's very unlikely, but there's no loose incentivized dungeons in this. But a loose could load in the incentive location, and you wouldn't know. There could be another loose in that dungeon. Very unlikely, but it could be funny if we see it happen.
Definitely, I'm excited to see something like that potentially happen. It looks like already we've got the runners starting off,
All
heading
right,
a
so
few different
immediate
directions.
divergence. Yeah.
Yeah, all three, or all four going somewhere a little bit different. All the, some of these starting areas that you're going to be clearing one way or the other at the beginning of most of these seeds. But it's interesting to see them sort of take that free AOE caster item and go off, or in the case of Admiral Tryhard, stop in Corneria and see what spells are available at level 1. Look like not some bad ones there.
Yeah, like the route Shums is taken to doing the pirates immediately. You got elemental plus, you got the AoE item. Is that a black belt too?
It
think that was a
looks
black belt.
like it is, yeah, which is one of the other tri-state flags that is enabled on these seats. Black belts are not guaranteed to appear in these party recruits,
Nope.
and I know a lot of times people are excited for the possibility of a black belt. It does offer some additional strategies that you can use, and definitely a little bit of safety towards the end
It's a
game.
lot of safety. You know what you're getting. You know you're probably gonna breeze through Topher once he's online. Yeah,
Definitely, as
quick
long as
thing.
you get him
Black
those levels.
belts bonuses. They get loot. So if you do recruit the black belt, you do get the loot. Promo fighter armor plus 40 HP, and the malice is only minus 150 GP, which doesn't matter at all. So not too
Yeah,
shabby.
yeah, even if you're not going to keep him long term, maybe just grab him for that loot. You've got a few other opportunities to switch out the recruit. You're going to have to take 3 of the 4 dungeons, and they've all got, a recruit of some sort gated behind that fiend. So
Another fun flag on the top left, vampire attacks a random town. So this one, Crescent, is being attacked. Doesn't have an item shop, doesn't have a
Tavern,
hospital, clinic.
hospital, yeah, clinic, whatever that's called. Yeah, not a bad town for that to run into. Sometimes it's annoying when it runs into one of the ones you like to stop in
Yeah,
for that heal up, or
especially if you have dead
maybe
members and you're
item
like,
shop.
please.
Exactly, exactly. You don't have to fly all the way back to Corneria every time just to get to a convenient clinic. Looks like we've seen key and loot all. Well, we know where loot is, and we've seen the key pickup. So moving
Yep,
along
Key
very
was in
quickly.
Cardia. Herb gives a
Ciel and
root stick.
chime.
Never hate to see one of
Ooh,
those.
yeah, very happy. I'm sure the runners, anybody that gets that roost stick, which will probably be all of them with that herb, happy to see it. You tend to lack, I feel, some of the important items that you're used to going into Topher with towards the end of these seeds. So everyone you can pick up along the way without doing too much, I bet they're going to be happy to get.
She was talking to Astos. I didn't get to see the item, but he deemed it not necessary. Could be one that he already has even. So quick reset of that. Nice little play.
Definitely. As you mentioned at the start, the key items that the characters start with, they're not removed from the pool, so they'll still be in places, and resetting out of those checks will save you some time as the seed goes along for sure.
Has generally been my experience is I start with 4 items and I go to 4 checks and they give me those 4 items and I'm like, cool, thank you, I guess.
Very much so. It looks like the blacksmith's going to have a vorpal for the runners. It's -2, but
-2, not ideal. It is a sword that exists. I will
it
not
is. It
disparage
may
it
be
too
the best
much.
sword they find too. You
It could
never
be.
know.
It could be. That is one of the things. A lot of the equipment on this flag set are tri-state, so they might not be incentived. There's still going to be 2 katanas and such, but who knows if you find them or not.
Yeah, with the need, I mean, you can fast track your key items, really, right? And as soon as you know what orbs are required, chances are you're only going to need 1 or 2 things to
Oh
finish
yeah.
that out. Worst combination being canoe plus, something else, and the canoe required for sea. And that can be buried a little bit in these, but still, you tend to get your go mode items fairly quick. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much extra looting someone does.
That is another thing worth mentioning. This flag set is 3 specific orbs. So once you're done in killing Garland and doing that whole thing, you talk to the orb. It tells you which 3 orbs that you need. So you don't have to do all 4 in this one, which I don't know if anyone's talked to it yet. So I don't know if we have that information.
I don't think I've seen anybody stop back in after, defeating Garland to peak the orb. It's always interesting to me when Earth ends up not required in these because I feel like the seed still makes you go to Earth a lot to get whatever's in there to finish it out, especially since at that point you're going to need Canoe, Chime, Cube,
Yeah,
Volcano
and the
being
flag
the
set
lucky one.
being the incentive, in Earth being post rod. So you're only a floor away from Lich at that point. So unless it's a Zonk, it's like, well, I guess I'll go down and kill Lich for the 12.5% experience.
Yeah, and another recruit chance. There's definitely
Yeah.
something to be said about that. The XP scaling is not super generous in these flags, so you're gonna every little bit is gonna help propel you towards that critical mass that you're gonna want before you have to go up against chaos and what will be 2 out of the 4 alt fiends that exist in the flag set.
By the way, I think on the top right I saw Dark Moon drop a fighter for a thief. So I think he's going double thief, which is very interesting.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting. Maybe leaning on some more of those thief weapons and
Yep.
that rather than relying on finding, the big ticket items for the fighter, although immediately given a defense sword. So can be used by anybody at least.
All right. I saw wind, earth, and something else. It was quick. Top left. But at the very least, I know for sure. Oh wait, Darkmoon's gonna
Looks
go
like
talk to it as well.
Looks like it's wind, earth, and fire. So cube
Yep.
still out there somewhere that we're gonna need to get. We've seen chime, we've seen rod, and volcano doesn't have any gating key items in it. So the runners are already well on their way to being able to access
hmm
Tover. At least certainly not gonna want to throw themselves up
Especially
against anything in there for a while.
yeah, especially with that black belt sitting in Provoca that has the loot. So
Yeah,
theoretically, you
you can
don't
put
even
that
need that.
off even.
hmm
Yep, you can wait until you're in an optimal position to sort of take him, maybe reduce the amount of other party members that you need to worry about killing off after you grab him, and go grind your heart's content, provided you found a good spot to grind. We've seen some telly magic, so ice is not bad. It looks like, and we've got Admiral Tryhard in
Ooh,
there, willing to
poor red
spend
mage.
the warp. Yep, focus down in slot 4. Love to see
All
it.
right, Shooms is immediately looking for those trap tiles. I believe this is shuffled. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's shuffled.
I
So
believe that
the
is the
eyeball, the
setting.
Agma
Yes.
are out there.
This is one of my favorite spots to check. It's just very quick to give you 2 spots to check and see what's there.
Yeah, and then the
And
other one on the other side of the floor is the third one. So there's 3 on the first floor of Earth. So
yep,
it's pretty solid.
yeah, it's definitely if you roll a good encounter here, it's definitely a very convenient grind spot. We do, as you mentioned earlier, have Hall of Dragons on, so that's one I know some runners tend to grind in later by choice or not. As they're trying to promote. We've definitely seen the encounter rates in there, and the fact that the Tia boss can show up. And not allow the runners to get away without fighting them once or maybe even twice to get the promotion done.
I didn't see where Darkmoon got it, but I saw a Sun Sword +5 in his inventory,
I
which
think
is
he just picked these up in Cardia here. It looked
yeah,
like.
it's really good. And an Opal plus or I think it was +2. Either way, yeah, +2.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
not bad weaponry to have. Obviously an X-Cal somewhere potentially with. Oh, and as you say that, or Gouda has an X-Cal. It's -1, but it's another
Yeah,
fantastic weapon on these flags. I feel like with the alt fiends especially.
agreed.
Sad to see the negative blessings, of course, but what are you going to do? It's better than not having it at all. And we've seen some, pretty pleasant blessings on some of the other weapons that they could definitely, if you know what kind of boss you're facing or anything like that, you can switch over to it. Of course, you don't know, what's in the lich spot, but you can just sort of guess and equip a weapon that you think is going to do the most work.
hmm Yeah, there's one thing about the Sun Sword. Excalibur is great, obviously, but you do have to promo for it, and this does have Hollow Dragons and Fight Bahamut on, and I think Bahamut on this flag set is try save buffed or not,
He
so
is
it could
indeed.
be real tough to
Yeah.
get that Excal online. Sun Sword right off the bat, the fighter could use it, which is cool.
Yeah, I enjoy the risk of the Bahamut fight sometimes, and sometimes even buffed. He'll roll very few spells. I feel like so he may punch like a truck, but you can still handle him. So it'll be interesting to see when the runners sort of decide to do that. If any of them find a tail conveniently, that's an item that can be fairly buried in these since it's not required for any sort of progression.
Yeah, yeah.
Got hints on, so it does look like the runners are going to check the hints
Ugh,
along the way and try to find out where that tail might be or any other items that they don't have that they're going to want. The
it's
cube's
one of the
still
worst hint
looming
givers
large.
in the game over there.
Yeah, he takes like super long time to walk to, and he's got just as many buddies blocking the path as
Uh
the
huh.
others. So
Yeah, so Shooms was smart there, put a save outside so he could just reset as soon as he found out the information.
yeah, resetting out of these checks, saving every little bit of time you can, definitely adds up over the course of these heats. These ones can be pretty fast, although the Topher end of it can end up turning into a little bit of an ordeal for the runners. But getting there often doesn't take very long, I feel like.
That's a great equalizer, right, Topher?
Oh, definitely, especially in these flags. We've got alt fiends on. And an interesting part about the Alt Fiends flags is we've got Tri-State for the FF1 Alt Fiends, which are maybe some of the grossest ones to get shuffled into the pool just by the sheer type and number of nasty AoE abilities that
Mhm.
they add to the pool. But
Not
we
maybe,
also have 5 and
definitely.
6. Well, fair, yeah. I don't want to see any of them, really.
Yeah, 1
I'd
and
prefer to
4
see
definitely
all
have
5 and 6.
some of the worst scripts with all the nukes and the Cure 4s and the slow 2s and yeah.
Yeah,
Can be
it'll
tough.
be exciting to see if Chaos decides to roll the nuke, Cure 4 nuke. Sort of set up and just really give the runners a hard time. I know some of them have mentioned seeing stuff like that in practice, and it's certainly possible with the types of abilities that get shuffled in. Or you can end up with a very chill Chaos. There's several fiends in 5 and 6 that don't add spells to the pool or skills. Ipu, for one that I remember, just doesn't have anything to sort of contribute other than his body. So, it can leave Chaos a little lacking, as well as some of the other alt fiends. You never know what kind of Topher you're going to get in these, although it's usually rough at some point, either beginning or end.
Yeah, Darkman was getting bodied there a little bit by the Sarda confused old men. It happens to the best of us.
Oh,
We get through it.
definitely. Love that flag. Make them all run around. Usually it's a pretty quick check. It definitely turns it into a much longer process to find out what your key item is and, check the hint if you want to stick around for that. And then both can be, pointless in these flags more often than not, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. One of the funnier ones interactions with that is Lich's Revenge. Turns them all into fightable zombies, and they all roam around like that. So you don't know which one has the key item. You just have to talk to them all,
That's
hope for the best, fight them.
fantastic. I
Very
love all
trolly,
the
very funny.
little,
Ooh, thunder on the top right. Sorry.
no, that's all right. That's a dangerous thing to see.
Typical Marsh experience.
Right, yeah, exactly. Marsh not giving you, the easy path through, as it often does. I know in my first sets of playthroughs of this game, even before the randomizer exists, Marsh was my stopping point. So
That's a common thing. Most people, when they get to Marsh, and it's like, why? Why? I'm good. I'll just do anything else.
thankfully, we don't have vanilla encounter rate. So
Oh
the
no, much
walks are
less low.
definitely,
Yes.
much, much more doable, and not going to just make the runners pull their hair out constantly. They can still
Yeah.
run into those nasty chains if they group up, especially in some of these deeper dungeons where you might run into it backwards and forwards. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, nothing like the vanilla experience, thankfully.
Also, good thing about this one, no unrunnables. I don't think on this flag set, at least. So, with the thief, you're gonna be able to run from most anything,
I think
hopefully.
there are
Oh,
unrunnables,
are there? Okay.
actually, yes, but it's not a very high
Yeah,
percentage.
lower percentage.
So yeah, we don't you won't see them too often, but you never know where they're gonna pop up. It could be funny to see them on some of these trap tiles that the runners are scouting, or in some of these later dungeons where you just would rather not run into something that you can't just skirt away from.
Also, something to note: Admiral Tryhard, bottom left, has already picked up the black belt. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they keep the black belt or if they were just picking it up for loot and they'll swap it out later.
Yeah, that's curious. Maybe setting up his plan ahead of time, or just wanting to get it out of the way because he does want to go back to Provoca at some point. Although I'm gonna guess it's going to keep him around for a while. The black belts, like we've talked about, could definitely be very, very strong, and guarantee you that sort of Topher safety that no other party is going to give you in these flags. It doesn't
Yeah,
have.
that is
You
the thing. The
know?
XP scaling on this specific flag set isn't the greatest, but there still is that safety blanket of the black belt just punching everything in the face for all of the damage. So we shall
Yep,
see.
the wrong eyeball there in
Yeah, that's
Waterfall,
not the one you want
sadly.
to see.
TNT, though, at least a key item that we don't already have, so
Yep,
something useful. It looks like, I mean, we're
flame
just
plus
looking
5.
for cube, really?
Should be able to warp out of here too.
Yeah, very nice. Generated waterfall cave, generally a little nicer than vanilla waterfall cave because it just happens to be shorter most of the time. That one wasn't a very long trip, and then with Telemagic, yeah, you just get right on out of there. Move on with your day. Find out what else is out there that's going to give you trouble.
Also, I'm not too sure if Admiral Tryhard and Gouda checked the orb to see what orbs are necessary. They could just be also just looting this because there are potentially a lot of loose in this flag set. But if they didn't check it, they might be like thinking they need to kill Carrie, which something to look out for if they keep going down.
Definitely true. Yeah, I wasn't sure who checked and who did not, and
I
it's
know Shroom's in Darkmoon for sure. I missed if Admiral and Gouda checked it or not.
makes
Hey,
sense.
there's a
There's
cube.
our cube. Yeah, so we are in. We'd love to see a tail somewhere convenient, probably, but I'm not sure how much
Ooh,
looting.
especially with that Dragon +5.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of things that you definitely want to have some promoted characters to be sporting to get you through this seed later on. I think they're probably fairly well off to start taking on some orbs potentially if they wanted. But yeah, I wonder how much chasing of this tail they're going to do, if they are going to look for it at all, or if they're just going to, fingers crossed, go back for that black belt, and grind up at the end, because that's definitely an option.
Yeah, the big one is there's no ribbons that I've seen yet. I could be wrong on
Tryhard
that.
has one. I
Okay,
believe
Tryhard
there's
has one.
one in ice,
Oh, okay.
but I haven't seen any others.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, that death protection and status resist that the ribbon gives you can't even put a number on it in these flags. I feel
No.
like because the skills are so up in the air as far as what you're going to get.
And
You
there's a lot of
want
times
to
I
have
won't.
as much safety as you can.
Yeah, I won't touch Topher unless I have at least one. Ideally, two would be cool. But it's just
Yeah.
one of those items that I consider crucial.
No, definitely. You're going to want one on whatever your damage carry is and probably on whatever your support carry is. And, other than that, you can maybe get away with not having any more. There's
Might be
definitely.
a wipe here on Admiral's side.
Oh, yes, the Red Dragon's not playing nicely and
Yeah.
Toxic doing it. Oh.
That'll happen. Red Dragons can be nasty.
Definitely, I'm not sure how much useful stuff you found in there, other than what the TNT was buried in there somewhere, or was it the adamant?
No. I think the adamant because Shooms hasn't been there. Shooms got the TNT
There
from
you go.
Bottle. Not too sure.
So potentially no loss, as far as like at least items that he's gonna need to go back for, and he knows where everything is that he looted. So when he returns, maybe just a quick trip through.
Hopefully, I wouldn't. I'd forget immediately upon looting it. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, if I don't go back very, very soon, I'm not gonna remember where those important items are, and just hope that I find one somewhere else. Seen some more weapon pickups, looting out the dungeons that you're going
Hey,
through
there's a
until you
tail.
find that item right there. Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense. That definitely puts Shumbabi, well set up. We know where the loot is. He's got everything else he needs to sort of just put his game plan together and approach the rest of the seed, in
Yeah.
full go mode with the potential to promote now.
No ribbons, but that
Yeah. Right. Still, I
Sometimes,
wonder where these extra boxes will be along his route, if he
yeah,
decides to open any.
yeah. I mean, this. To be fair, this is two path Topher, mid Topher, two path. So you only fight two of the fiends and it's mid Topher. So a lot of the shortcuts are in. You could try and wing it with wall if you find someone with wall.
Yep. Wall, definitely a fantastic spell to have available, in those situations where, yeah, ribbons are not plentiful. We've got
Also,
two different alt fiends right now on screen.
Yep, Shubabi went for the zap kill because the incentive bonus point for this race today is kill any fiend with any instant death. So, including Quad X. So Zap, Brack, Quad X, Quake, all the good stuff.
I believe that I don't even know how to say it, Altariot, the boss Good is fighting, is actually weak to time magic. So
Oh yeah.
if he had Zap, that would potentially, be very useful there. And I'm sure if once Shum gets there, if he still has charges, he'll give it a go.
Carry's always scary, but got through it. No big deal.
As long as one person lives and you can get out and save, it's a success on these especially.
So it's one of those things. The fiends, the orbs, you don't necessarily need to light the fire orb, the volcano, but the XP bonus is small, but it's still something. It's 12.5% per orb that you light. So
Oh,
it's not a terrible idea if you have the means to kill it.
Oh no, fire was one of our required ones
Oh no,
tonight.
fire. Yeah,
Looking
yeah,
back
yeah,
over
right.
it, yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
it's water. It's
Water.
that sea
Yeah.
shine. So the canoe wasn't necessary,
Yeah.
although we've seen both it and the oxyal. I can't imagine anybody's going to step foot into sea at this point. Unfortunately, we won't get to see any
Oh,
mermaids tonight.
there's some nasty shadows on the top left there. Blizzard, thunder. I think it was an AOE paralyze. That's what happens when.
This is why we save a lot.
Was that a wipe out of? I think that was a wipe out of Earth Cave too.
That is unfortunate. Definitely one of
Yeah.
those lessons that got drilled into me early is like any chance you can to save in between doing anything. And I don't even know if he made it out of Earth Cave, to be able to save
Yeah.
after, taking down the Alt Fiend. At least it wasn't too difficult. Gives him another shot to try some, instant death spells, I guess, and
Yep.
get that bonus point.
Yeah, that feels bad. It's happened to best of us. It
Oh,
certainly
yeah.
happened to me.
This flag set especially, this is a flag set that is going to wipe you frequently, I feel like, just because you're going in oftentimes with less levels because of the XP scaling, less gear because of the way the loot routing works out. And so, yeah, if an enemy just rolls mean, especially if there's several of them in the pack, you're just in for a bad time and you might lose a good amount of progress.
Absolutely. So yeah, there was a
Active
quick wipe
vampire.
by Gouda on the bottom right. Nothing too major. Wasn't too deep into Earth Cave, so diving back in. Shum's rediving. Admiral Tryhard taking on the always scary Carry 1.
Yeah,
Carry 1 spot. Sorry.
even if I'm just running straight down to the bottom of dungeon, yeah, the carry one spot always makes me a little nervous. You never know quite how hard they're gonna hit, and just how beefy, especially on these flags with up to 200% HP scaling on the bosses. It could
Mm-hmm.
take a significant effort to get through. And with the abilities that get randomized into the pool, just they can really give you a struggle. Take down one or two characters, and all of a sudden, your damage output is just lagging behind what you need to get through. And
Admiral
you're
Tryhard
sad.
going for the Confuse, because Carry 1 is weak to status, but weaknesses do not transfer over, sadly. So,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
sometimes
probably not to
willing
be hidden.
worth giving it a try, but yeah, at this point, so the hold from the character to the boss did not apply. The boss decided to show, Admiral Tryhard how that spell's supposed to work,
Yep.
and ends up
And he's
wiping
taken
his
the
black man. Yep.
smart play. I'll just come back later. It's not going nowhere.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks like Gouda, is pointed out by chat. The grinding solo with this fighter and the Storm Age, in this Frost Wolves, Fire Wolves pack.
Mm.
In Earth. I'm very curious to see if they plan on, yeah, just switching that leveled up fighter out for a black belt, at some point soon. That's definitely an option. Although also just having a whole bunch of HP on your fighter is not a bad thing.
Never. Could also be getting levels to go for Hall of Dragons dive to kill Bahamut, because that is a treacherous dive, to say the least. Hall of Dragons has the same encounter rate as the Bridge of Destiny, so very high. A lot of nasty dragons and stuff down there, and you can run into the Tier 1 boss, whoever that might be. We don't know who it is yet down
Yes.
there, and that's
You can
unrunnable.
run into
It's
them both directions,
uh-huh,
and potentially multiple times, just
uh-huh.
like good old War Mech. So it is, yeah, potentially that walk down to Bahamut and back.
It is
They've got some
petrifying.
tele magic, so at the very least, it's just a walk down as long as they conserve a charge or two. But yeah, it is, nail biting experience. Definitely a lot of save and resetting, just making the walk for me.
That's the thing too. Like Bahamut, again, you have to fight it at the very least, and it's tri-state buff, so it could have. I think when it's buffed, it has the War Mech stats, so it could be pretty nasty with scripts and stuff like that. So you have to do that, and then you have to walk back out. It's if you're Black Mage or someone who has a telemagic doesn't live, it's
Yeah.
very very scary.
Yeah, definitely. I've run into one party member being alive after the Bahamut
Hmm.
fight many times, and that walkout is not a guarantee, at all at that point. Just praying that, yeah, whoever had telemagic, is the one that makes it out of the fight.
That was the last one that I ran, and I was like, I died I think 3 times trying to get out, and I'm like, I'll just go do anything else really.
Yeah, I mean, Tover's probably not going to be much more forgiving, so you just kind of use that as a base point, really, and like, okay, I'm going to grind so I can get through one of these two things, and then then we'll move on. Maybe I can beat the seed. Little crisscross path, half in Earth, and it looks like we've got the top side heading volcano.
Yeah, it's neat. Top side are almost lockstep. Bottom side both doing Earth Cave, one grinding, one diving. So I am very curious what level Gouda goes up to with this fighter.
Yeah, it'll sort of indicate probably what their plan is long
Yeah,
term, right? To
absolutely.
get through the rest of the seed. And again, like you said, it's definitely regardless. It's definitely some safety on a character, no matter what you swap into that spot. They're gonna have a bunch of levels, which is access to a lot of HP or spells, depending on what they are. So
Something where you kind of wish you had a flame stick, a mage stick for this. I mean, Thor is cool, gets the job done, but Fire 2, I believe they're weak to it, so a little bit quicker probably. But
yep,
you
that's
got you got what you got. So
right. If it works and they're not punching with anything but these basic hits with no danger, right? No statuses on these hits that'll suddenly, throw your grind for a loop. Go with what's safe and what you know. All right, we're gonna see. We're gonna get a zap cast on the boss
we
that's weak
might.
to time magic.
I
I
know
only know
Shooms
that
does.
because I looked at it very recently.
Yeah, I know Shooms does have the Altfiend list going, so he might see that it's weak to time and go for it. But
I'd love
it's
to see.
also
I'm
one of
not
those.
sure.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Wasn't sure if he already got the kill on the lich spot,
Oh yeah,
or if
I did
he
miss that.
turned around and didn't.
Okay,
Oh,
so yeah,
okay, so yeah, he did. So it makes sense.
that's it.
Yeah, don't waste a spell that might not work if you're going to
No,
be dishing out the damage otherwise. Definitely the smart play. Fantastic that he's already, secured that bonus point for himself.
I would still do it for funsies, but I like learning, Altfiend's different weaknesses and stuff.
Definitely, and honestly, there's
Ooh,
just something incredibly
go Stone
satisfying
Touch.
about instant killing the bosses in this game. Getting
Yeah,
each instant death spell has a different sort of flavor text as far as how it wrecks their day, and getting to see that, banished to the fourth dimension, fell in a crack, etc. They're all fantastic in my opinion.
I really like the from the recent spoiler week that we did the HP up terminated with the black
Yes, yes,
potions.
using that black consumable that's added in with those was
HP up
fantastic. Yeah,
terminated.
to get even yet one more message. Encounters definitely giving the runners some difficulty, not surprising at all, though, given this flag set.
Earth Cave's always gross, and yeah, Shum's still digging for that grind tile, looking for the eyeball, looking for the probably Agama.
Yeah, with the black belt in play, I could definitely see an Agamatile being the money spot for some of these runners to go to. Gonna check Locktober. It's one of the places I like to check. That
Did
spot
it?
is no, definitely not. But it's paid off for me in several
Oh yeah,
practices, and been fantastic to have it so convenient to the
yeah,
end game. And
that's
just
one of my favorites.
if Tover gives you problems, you know where you need to shore that up, and it's right next door.
I like that one. I like Northwest Castle, the two of them in there.
Yes, that's another really good one. Also, fairly easy to get out and back into when you need to, recharge your spell charges, or if somebody unfortunately takes a death that you didn't want to during the grind fight. It's not too far from a lot of the clinics.
So yeah, Admiral Tryhard took the white mage, yeeted the black mage or black belt. Sorry, so going thief, rainbow. So definitely no, just wanted the loot. Looks like, which is smart.
Very interesting. Thief Rainbow is a party. We don't have bad blessings, so it gives you a lot of support spells as well as potential damage output spells, which can really make a difference in that Topher drag. You got to go
Hmm.
through a lot of bosses, and it can eat up a lot of resources if you're running two melee, two spellcasters. So
Yeah, Shum's on the top left, checking out Hollow Dragons. See if he stays here for a little bit or not. 3 zombie dragons off the red dragons, not as good. But zombie dragons are great. Usually not as big as some of these other ones. especially if you can find some gas dragons. They're weak to ice
Yeah,
and nuke.
gas Ds are the money, right?
Yeah,
That's
they're the money
where
ones.
the big XP comes, and if you've got the ability to kill them and seeing them, it's a fantastic thing. And this is a great spot to run into several of them, and you could even, I don't know if the dragons next to Bahamut themselves are always the same type, or if they
They
just
are.
pull from the pools as well.
Yep.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. So one's
Uh,
gas dragons. I forget what the other one is. Some
Gonna
sort of
get blue
dragon. Yeah.
from
Some.
from my personal experiences. I feel like I've talked to the blue
Yeah.
D, and
Blue dragon.
unfortunately not the gas dragon, a couple times. My first time with this flag set was an interesting experience to realize that after I managed to beat Bahamut, there's yet another fight waiting for me if I click the wrong direction.
Yep. A lot of people don't even know about that. They just talk to them and they're like, "Oh, why am I fighting you all of a sudden?"
No, it
But
didn't
yeah,
want to fight.
if you need some emergency XP, you know what they are at least, right? So
Oh, definitely. And XP is a premium in this flag set. As we've seen, with the 12.5% per orb scaling, it just
absolutely.
doesn't jump up the way it does in some of the other flag sets.
Nope.
And you're limited really on how high it's going to cap anyway. It's never going to get to those points that you see in some of the other flag sets where you can just, focus whatever it is, shards or orbs, and then do a really efficient grind. This one, your grind only gets so much more efficient as you move through. I love that the zombie Ds are unrunnable. Unrunnable dragons in the Hall of Dragon, maybe one of my favorite things about this flag set, I think. It's just, I don't know, it's a very interesting experience to try to go down there and then just not be
Yeah.
able to get where you're going, and that's before you even find out if Bahamut is extra hard or not.
Katana was found, by the way, -1 sadly, but it's still one of my favorite weapons. So
All the best stuff, all the legendary weapons so far, I think have had the negative blur sig for us,
yep.
which is a little sad. Although we did see a rune +2, we've seen the sun, and other, I think, ice with higher blur sings than that. So you've got stuff to swing. And we've got what, ice and nuke, all in ice 3 nuke in level 3 and 4. So they've got some damage output that's not strictly melee. Obviously, Shimbabi using it in these dragons. So.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with two-path Topher, um, you could potentially get like Lich into carry. So usually not too high HP. If you have enough nuke casters and stuff, there's a world where you just kill the
100%.
chaos
That's
with
my
a
plan.
nuke. Yeah.
A lot of times it's just, yeah, try to rush the two easy fiends. I prefer to go left side just because of the statistics that I've seen in practice, but it's not always the answer, and it's not going to be the same every seed. So it'll be interesting to see which floors end up where.
Yeah. I'm
You-
always right. Mostly because I forget if I don't see a blocking door when I go down there, I assume it's long Topher, so I just go right. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is mid Topher, but two paths. So
That's
I don't want
fair,
to
right?
ever confuse myself with that one.
That's fair. I'm blessed with some inexperience that allows me to adapt to that, I guess. But your call is the safer one most of the time,
I'm
right? Because then
blessed
you
with
don't
being
have to
new.
think about it. I am indeed. There's so much I don't know about this. Getting to see all these runners and how they're approaching the different challenges that I've seen running practice seeds and that they've all been talking about. It's just
Oh,
fascinating. The different parties that we see.
I see Shum's removing some equipment. Might be killing off some party members for maybe a black belt.
It's definitely, it's a safe play. It really is. It just, especially if you found a good grind spot, it can get those levels up there. Then yeah, just go for it. You're not guaranteed to see one in every week 2 practice see because of that tri-state. So pick them up while you
Ooh,
can. Enjoy getting to swing,
that was a
that
big
big
crit.
black belt around.
He is not getting the targeting that I think he wants.
No, its character's even saying it right there. A little bit of oof on screen.
Yep.
Yeah, as pointed out, we've got a purchasable item, and this happens to be hiding the cube behind it. So that'll be interesting for those runners that don't already have the cube, which is 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, you don't see as many nasty chains on this one with the starting key items and such. It kind of like mitigates some of that. But bottle to canoe, where you have to go to waterfall to get TNT, and then TNT gives you cube. It's a pretty
That's a
good
chain
chain.
for sure. Oh yeah, on
Yeah.
these that might actually be one of the deepest chains I've seen on these. I've definitely had to step foot into sea or earth when they're not required to get something, and it's definitely a process to
Yeah.
get through there. And you don't want to have to go into a fourth dungeon if you don't want to, really, on
Nope.
these.
Well, that's the thing. All the main
But
dungeons outside of Volcano, like Sea, Sky, and Earth, are all guaranteed incentivized. So there is something there. You just kind of hope that it's not something you want or need.
yeah, you can hedge your bets a little bit. Honestly, chasing what you've got available to you, focusing on the orb dungeons is sort of how I've been approaching, and just hoping as the scene goes on further and further that item I need isn't buried behind the thing I'm not doing. But you never know on these flag sets, especially with the tri-state incentivized locations. Turning some of these dungeons into loose dungeons rather than what they would otherwise be. It's very interesting to see sort of what the approach is on looting some of these places that you don't really want to be spending a lot of time in. Two players in the Halls of Dragons now, it looks like, taking
Yep.
on
Our
the
first look at
Durgans.
Bahamut himself.
Oh, heck yeah. Might be. We'll see. It doesn't look so bad so far, but you never know when he's going to unleash some major AoE spell and just ruin your day.
Yeah, non-buffed is just punchy. Usually not too bad to deal with if you have a Roots taken a Biz 2 and such. Buffed can be anything. So far, only punching. That's what you want
Yeah,
to see, really.
yeah, definitely. They got plenty of invis
Going for the
cast
Expert.
up.
That's cheeky. I like it.
Smart play, right? I don't know what resistances he has normally, but yeah,
Oh, he hit it.
getting rid of any extras is kind of nice.
I think he hit it. I think I saw it defenseless. That's fun.
Definitely getting to use the status abilities on the bosses, right? It's a thing in a lot of the other Final Fantasies, pretty heavily, but not as often in one.
There it
Carrie's
is.
got the confusion weakness and whatnot, but yeah, excellent use of X for excellent fight. Bahamut not putting up the kind of fight that the runners might be used to seeing on some of these, and with Telemagic, you don't have to walk it out.
Nope, that's a huge, huge boon. Not too sure what weapons, but like now the thief can use the Sun Sword +5. Might be
Yeah,
your
now you
best
can
bet,
actually
honestly.
equip your thief with stuff that's
Yeah.
useful, instead of the silver knife that you may have stumbled upon across the
Hey, that
scene.
silver knife. It's got me through some tough fights. All right.
It's the best knife in the game.
Sure is.
Oh, there's the bottle. It's in Corneria. Oh my goodness! For
Yep.
only 2,000 gold, I don't know if I've seen the key item be that cheap in these flags yet. That's fantastic. But I'm sure maybe for Admiral Tryhard, not the thing he wanted to see there, and realized like, oh, that's been available since minute 0.
Well, there's also a fun bug. I think it's still in this version, but if you put on the cheap vendor item, which makes sure that item is cheaper, it raises the price of levels 1 and 3 for white magic and a bunch of other white magic to like very expensive, like 10 to 20,000.
It's
So
very
that's
interesting.
it's an interesting bug. Is very funny. I found that a while back.
It's a fantastic interaction. One of the things I love about this randomizer in general is all the little one-off flags, and just sometimes you do get those very funny interactions when you combine things across the seat that just surprise everybody the first couple times they're running, and then it can become a meme or just something fun to experience.
Mm-hmm.
Not the incredibly expensive level 1 and 3 spells are fun to experience, but the runner
Also, I think
sprites always throw me. The top two
the Ninja
screens running
Turtles.
some custom sprites, Ninja Turtles, and I don't know what's on Shimbabi's screen. But yeah, your deals
Yeah.
play. We know not
Oof. The reset
required, and
back
uh,
to. Mm, I've
maybe
done
just
that.
decided not to deal with it. Oh yeah, many times.
Yep.
You're resetting fast and furious in these flag sets a lot, and if you don't spend an extra half a second waiting for something to process, or you just forget where you saved last, yeah, you're suddenly back
We
where
did
you
get the
don't want to
black
be.
belt swap, by the way, on Shumbabi's side.
Makes sense. Yeah, he's got, if he wants to do more grinding, he's set up, I think, with everybody else already dead. So can finish it out. Looks like, yeah, probably is going to head to these trap tiles here in Northwest Castle.
Also gives him the loot.
Yes, right, which is the only item he needed for go mode, I believe.
Yep.
Outside of taking down Tia, whatever Tia might be, I believe, Living Flame, I think, tonight. And seeing what recruit is back there, although I can't imagine picking up somebody at the very end, unless, I don't know, second black belt? No.
Just an army of black belts.
If you
So
could bring them, I'm sure some of the runners would.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I'm curious what level Shooms goes up to here. The big breakpoints 21, 32, 42 for the black belt, getting 6, 8, 10 hits. Ooh, that was a big
Yeah,
crit.
like a Pokemon, levels up, evolves as he grows stronger.
Yeah,
Before
this is
reaching
not the
his
grind. Yeah,
ultimate
okay,
form.
Shooms is leaving. It's not the grind that you want, unfortunately. You just spend so much time healing. Or
Yeah, you
he's
don't
going
want to take a
for
lot of damage when you're trying to
restocking
do your grind.
consumables.
Sure, too. I mean, we've seen a couple tiles, although, with one party member, you're trying to get those quick and furious ones, like the Agama tile would be if we stumbled across it, so.
Yeah. Yep, nope, going right back. Just needed more consumables. No big deal.
That's fair. To grind where there's a tile rather than hunting down a potentially better one that could take just as much time to find,
That is a big
and it's
question,
not
right?
guaranteed to be somewhere that you're going to want to go to.
Yeah. Like, do you take a slightly worse grind as opposed to like? I like taking what you have available. Sure, the next one you check might be but I don't like that kind of gamble.
Right, definitely right. I mean, and that is the gamble that you see a lot of runners, and not just on this flag set. I think that is just a Final Fantasy randomizer thing in general. A lot of times, there's a number of in other flag sets. There's a number of grinds that you could choose from depending on where you are and what your party makeup is, and just committing to the first one that seems like it's gonna work for you, could potentially save you a lot of time.
Yeah, so getting our first look at Mirage. No cube on Darkmoon side, but looking to no, there can't be loose here, right? So
Now,
looking for
unfortunately,
some
no
loot.
loose. To get a white shirt, that's something you're probably gonna want to keep. I like to loot this sometimes. Like if Sky's not required, sometimes I'll dip in here for the Mirage items because it's fairly dense. If you've
Oh,
got a good
absolutely.
encounter cycle, you can
Yeah.
get in and out pretty quick and maybe score one of those items. A ribbon or an X-Cal earlier in the seed, although we already have seen that. So
That's the thing too. If nothing's good on this floor, I mean they have warp, but you could always reset out. This is a
exactly.
quick little run up. Same thing. Nothing good up there. You reset out or warp.
Yeah, having those options to just bail on a spot quickly, as long as you're remembering to save scum appropriately, is very nice, especially just with the way these dungeons and enemy encounters work.
Shooms keeps getting crit for 400 plus damage. It is not what you want to see.
Those dragons are not wanting to give him the levels very easily. You're making
Nope.
him earn it. At least it's just the few at a time, and not a larger pack that he has to deal with and risk that. But yeah, it's definitely more damage than you generally want to be taking in your grind fight because you're trying to just walk back and forth and not have to heal up in between. But you
Yeah.
do what you got
Honestly,
to
I
do on
would
these
have
flags.
maybe stuck with the zombie dragons.
Yeah,
They
it's
weren't
definitely
too
an
bad.
option, right?
They're pretty good
Did he
XP,
find
right?
a small pack of them or a one of? I
It was
wasn't
2 to
sure. I
4
saw the
in the
okay.
Hall of Dragons.
Potentially just not wanting to deal with how much longer that would take per encounter. Obviously, you're getting 4 times the XP of
Yeah, but
one, but
also
you're taking
dying.
4 times the hits. But yeah, how much time are
Yeah.
you losing here at when you accidentally die to an angry blue dragon?
Yeah, he does not like that third spot, putting him in second spot. Don't blame him.
That's fair, right? Bahamut moves spots tonight. He's hiding in Northwest Castle. It seems like. and pretending to be a blue dragon because this Bahamut has caused more trouble for the racers than Bahamut has.
This is the king of the dragons.
It's a good spot, and he doesn't. He's probably not going to promote at this point, then, right? After leveling up, just leave it with the black belt. How much more damage than you want to be grinding? Goodness.
So yeah, Gouda in good shape. Also has a black belt. Don't know if we'll see a grind out of that if it was just for the loot. But heading up Sky, and that'll be the third and final orb for Gouda.
Yeah, he'll be
Once
able
he
to
kills
make
it.
some
That's what you want to see right there.
decisions. Yes,
The eyeball.
the eyeball, my favorite grind. It's so squishy, and XP per HP is just phenomenal.
Yep. Maybe the highest in the game, honestly. They are made of paper. Even on very high scaling, they are made of paper.
Yeah, as we see, right? It's one round you can just hold A, and you're gonna probably take it down. You don't have to worry about spending any charges of spells. Just let your damage do damage, and you're good.
That might be the wrong eye, Fabian. I don't know if eyes have 381 HP. That'd be scary.
A beefy eyeball.
That is a beefy eyeball. They could always have like the nasty stuff too, like Brack Bane nuke. But
Oh yeah, the number of times you never know. You think a grind is safe until the enemy acts before your party and unleashes something just absolutely awful. Nuke or Agamas come to mind from a seed that I believe was seen recently somewhere. Just you're trying to do just a nice little convenient grind, but the game says otherwise.
no, you're not allowed.
So actual loot in Sky, interesting.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. It's again one of those ones that isn't progression opening
right.
or anything, right? So it's tend to be is going to tend to be at the later end of the chains.
Yeah, not anything that's going to lead to anything except, runners' additional suffering as they get into Topher later on. Will we see Warmech on the Bridge of Destiny? Can he be on the Bridge of Destiny? Because I know he's in Topher. In the, Sin Masa home flag is on. So there's a guaranteed Masa in Topher, just waiting there. A bunch of XP if you really want to deal with it. Probably not going to see it, but it is there. But yeah, it'd be nice to see him also on the Bridge of Destiny for one of the runners. He's usually just run away, but him making an appearance is nice.
Could be unrunnable.
That would be fantastic.
Oh, Liquid Flame.
Yes, fantastic. Another 5 boss. I don't know exactly what he throws into the pool, but I can't imagine it's a bunch of nice things. This is a boss that gives a lot of people in 5 some difficulty, and I'm sure they pulled some of that over as far as spells in his list.
He has many fire 3s and nuclear and blaze and inferno.
That sounds pretty appropriate. A lot of fire coming out of him that will get spread around in Topher.
That's for the Fiend too, by the way. The refight. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fire 3s, and then a bunch of other stuff.
Trying to be cracking there with the spells. Just I'm all spells, bro. It'll be interesting to see sort of where those end up, and you never know. The runners could dodge all the mean bosses, in Topher with that. I love the 2 pass mid Topher personally. Like it's very fast to check both spot ones. If one of them gives you difficulty, you can change your mind and go the other way.
Yep. Oh, I've done that many times. Sometimes I'll step on Kraken's floor and be like, nope, let me see what the other one has, and then I'll be TM and I'll be like, well,
Yep. Yeah. Sometimes it's not better. Right. Yeah. A lot of times, both paths, neither one's actually better than the other. It just happens to be how the boss randomizing how lucky you got with the crits up front to maybe get rid of them a little fast.
So yeah, Gouda 50 minutes in Topher. He's a left gamer. All right. I respect it.
I'm gonna go left first for sure. Just again because I've seen it be like the lich floor first or second so often left side, and that's just generally squishier boss. Generally, not always, but I like to try to hope that I see once in the one spot and my
Ah,
brain just thinks it's gonna be quick.
it to be Kraken. Good pick
Oh
up to
well,
Mazmoon if you
yeah.
want to fight Warmech? Question
Get a
mark.
boatload of XP, but it's so much faster to not go through that middle section too, with the way mid Topher's laid out, and just hop
Yeah.
down here and right across, and you're fighting Kraken before you know it.
So yeah, one thing about this though is Gouda has the black belt. Not very high level, I don't think. I don't think it's at 32. So this might be relying a lot on spells and hoping for the best.
That's just Black Sad in a nutshell towards the
Yeah,
end. I feel like a
it
lot of
really is.
times, you're relying on spells, either the damaging ones you have or the life spell charges that you have to keep cycling party members up to beat the boss down.
Yeah, like 9 hits 300. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. 7 hits 367. A little bit better, but again, kind of on the low end.
At least we've got these life charges. You
Yeah,
don't.
that's
It's
huge.
always rough when you don't have them, and you're faced with that decision to either try to push forward, maybe take down
Unfortunate.
Chaos with 3, or
Team Right
not.
was a play to go. Get wrecked.
Yeah, it was tonight, right? Because what we saw, it's cracking into Tia
Yep.
if you go left. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not probably what the runners want to do.
Again, maybe Tiamat has nothing and Carry 2 had 18 nukes. It could happen with Alt Fiends. Who knows?
This is true, right? We'll see. If this Liquid Flame version 2.0 gives the same difficulties that Tia would, or maybe just decides to play nice.
All right, looks like Shooms has done the grind. Probably heading up the sky.
Yep, gets his last
Dark Moon
orb
about
out
to
of the
get
way.
his cube, which is what he's hoping for, I imagine.
Yeah, at this point, he's got to be like, where did it end up? And yep, it was behind that chain, which I'm sure we'll hear the runners talk about afterwards, because as you mentioned, like it's infrequent in these flags to see a required key item buried behind a chain so deep like this one was.
All right, Gouda has Liquid Flame Tiamat 2 down, but lost
All
the Red
right,
Mage,
the
so no
great
life
equalizer,
magic.
chaos time.
Yeah. Certainly doable. Chaos could just punch, and you have Roo Stick, so no big deal.
Chaos could just punch.
It's really not. Oh, forgot to put the immediate nuclear. So
About that punching.
about that punching, yeah. You got temper? No temper. All right. No quad. No quad X.
Not sure Quad X would land with
Oh,
with one
tornado
hit through.
too.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Chaos
Yeah, 8
not
hits
playing around tonight.
244. 8 hits 73. Yeah, that's gonna be a wipe. That is like it's how I play too. Like I would definitely go for a cheeky dive. At least see what there is.
Oh, definitely.
See if there's anything kind of nasty, and then just kind of go from there. But like nuclear into tornado is not
Yeah, once I
inspiring
saw the chaos
confidence.
spells, that's where you make a decision. I feel like if you manage to get all the way to chaos, at least he knows two things. He's got nuclear and tornado. And yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna want a fair amount of HP buffer at the very least. I feel like to deal with that. So
that's
more
all it is.
grinding.
Yeah, you just need HP. This is probably like it's a very old game, right? So there's no like air elemental or anything like that. So tornado is just non-elemental, and it has a pretty high damage cap. Like it's certainly less than nuclear, but it'll still do in the high 200s. So
Yeah, that is
can be
not
very
a
nasty.
number you want to be running across your party. I mean, some of these runners' characters don't even have 200 HP with the
Yeah.
mages, so it's not a good thing
Stairs
to
and
be
Black
hit so
Mage.
hard. Yeah, exactly, right? These black mages and their HP growth leaves a lot to be desired as far as a buffer in the final fights here.
Yeah, that's not what you want. But that is the Black Mage life.
Yeah, indeed, right? They're never gonna just be tanky in any sort, and they'll go down, like a wet paper bag most of the time. Something hits them, they're probably on the floor.
Yep. That's why the certain malices such as Black Mage HP on the fighter didn't roll in this, thankfully, but probably one of the worst malices you can get.
Certainly is. I mean, yeah, it sort of just removes the fighter from being a viable party member. I feel like in most cases, the equipment pool doesn't make up for the lack of health, since that is
No.
probably your fighter's biggest resource towards the
Yeah,
end of the
because
game.
you don't care about punching usually. So the elemental spells, non-elemental spells, sorry, are the danger: nuclear, tornado, swirl, nuke, etc. Fade on this flag set because all fiends can have fade, which is fun.
That is
So
fantastic.
yeah,
Just all
for
the things
us.
you never want to see. Yeah, definitely for us. Oh, we see metal slimes on Admiral Tryhard side. I never run into these. I've played so much, and I've yet to see them. I thought they were a myth.
They tend to run away, right? So see if we can catch some. Metal slimes, weak to fire.
You taught me that. I
Mm-hmm.
do remember.
And it's a classic.
It was
You do
useful.
it in AOE and one lives. It's in the code somewhere. That's just how it goes.
Oh, definitely. And it usually lives, and your turn order is such that your character who's swinging afterwards isn't the one that's going to go next. It's the one casting the second spell, and you're going to waste a whole charge for one
Yeah,
one
exactly.
one guy.
So it's like nuke, one lives. There goes second charge of nuke. It's like, come on, just you need to roll that much higher, just a little bit higher. Would have been fine.
Right, those MDEP rolls, right? Just not working in the player's favor a lot of times on these flags when it comes to those big AoE spells. Trying to take out packs of up to 9, 12 enemies. What's the max? 12, 16?
369.
How many pirates are there? Aren't there
9.
16 pirates? 9 pirates? Oh, okay.
I hope there's not 16. It's a lot of pirates.
Does seem like a lot, but yeah, even 9, big encounters possible in this game. Definitely something that the runners have to deal with when they're trying to run away from all these
Yeah,
encounters. On 9 swings, how much time is that just eating away from you while you're just saying, "Please let me run," just repeatedly while the enemies
yeah.
are doing whatever
Also,
nonsense they're doing.
Gouda going for the Bahamut, so might be swapping out the black belt for the fighter because I know there was a fighter somewhere. I can't remember where. Or it could
Very
just be going for
interesting. Yeah.
more chip damage for the thief. The thief could put on a lot better weapons once they're promoted, right? So that could also be a thing.
Certainly, yeah. The ninja much better than the thief, especially with katanas available
Yeah.
pretty often in these flags. I know we've seen them. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody has at least one,
Yep.
just in the normal looting that they did to get to where they are.
Katana, sun swords, like they get all of the elemental stuff, ice swords, fire swords. Much, much, much better equip pool. They're probably the one that benefits the most from promoing.
I would agree, yeah, definitely as well. It's always sad when I go to try to equip my thief with something before promo and nothing I
Yeah.
have is anything he can use. I'm just like,
Especially because
okay.
I never remember what elemental ones he can use. Like dragon sword, maybe were sword. I don't know. Giant sword, just one of them at least.
I feel like the red mage has better non-promoted
Oh
equipment
yeah,
options as far as
yeah.
weapons go. Not that you're going to be swinging with your red mage very
In a
often,
pinch.
but
In a pinch. I mean, he can use a sun sword non-promo. Promo, he gets like Vorpal and stuff like that. So he can do some alright stuff.
yeah, if those spells are hiding from you, you may end up seeing your red mage be a melee character.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
And
Gouda
on
going
these
back into
flag
Hall of
sets
Dragons.
especially.
Probably the best
Yeah,
spot for a grind, honestly.
yeah. Get some extra levels. You're gonna need an HP buffer. Chaos opening in nuclear tornado that's like 400 damage across the board or something like that. You're gonna need as many levels and characters to at least live through that first nuclear with enough HP that you can continue to do something.
Shum's not very far in. Half the team's dead already. I don't know what happened, but
Tover happened. That's
yeah, basically.
the
It's really
black
not what you
belt
want because
lives.
you
That's
want at
all that
least
you
the
need.
fast, right? Like you don't need to cast anything else, but getting the fast is very, very important.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think we've seen fast. I didn't see temper earlier, and we haven't seen the power bonk picked up by anybody. I don't think. You
Yeah,
know,
not guaranteed. It's not incentivized, so it's out there somewhere. Or sorry, I believe it's guaranteed. It's just not incentivized, so it is out there somewhere.
right, just in a box somewhere that
In
these
a
runners may
box.
never open.
Yeah.
You love when you see it, and you're sad when you don't.
All right. I don't think this is gonna go well for Shum Bobby, but we'll see.
Black belt versus chaos round 2.
Yeah. Gets a ruse. That's good. Punch hits a little bit. Second ruse. There's nuclear. Very low roll nuclear.
100 damage. Yep,
Oh,
open
crit
and a
through
500
evasion.
plus crit. All right, down goes the
Yeah.
black belt.
That was 2 stacks, so it was unfortunate. Bad luck. That slot 3. I'm not superstitious, but I don't know. That slot 3 has been getting crit a lot. So
Yeah, we'll see if he switches it up right as he gets in there. It's like maybe I don't want this solo carry in slot 3 because yeah, chaos not playing around, and some of these other bosses clearly not either. Just dishing out damage. Lit 3 from Archivist here.
yeah, I think it's in the code somewhere that it's like, oh, that's where the white mage goes, right? So I'm gonna punch that slot. Pretty sure it's coded.
Makes sense. Definitely makes sense. That is where my white mage goes most of the time. So yeah, the boss is sort of knowing ahead of time. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna target this spot. We'll probably win.
But yeah, Dark Moon gonna light his last orb. Admiral Tryhard also in the place. I think he's been doing a little bit of a grind, walking grind, which is good. A lot of good fights up here.
Yeah, Sky has a lot of very XP heavy fights. I feel
Yeah.
like whether or not they're easy to take, another thing. But you
Yeah.
know, at least when you finish it, you're gonna see a nice number pop up there on the screen for experience points.
Yeah, pretty much anything up there is worth killing. Some are better than others, but yeah, mostly everything is worth some sort of XP, which is good.
Yeah, nuns don't gain XP, so if people die, you're actually getting more XP on the rest of the party at least.
Yeah, and we saw even with a solo black belt, the XP is not plentiful in
No.
this flag set. Not even a
Yeah,
little bit.
that is the thing maybe hiding the most. The XP might be tri-stated really for these runners, but it's not probably going to be there unless you find that just juicy trap tile somewhere very convenient. An
Yeah, with
eyeball,
how Shooms was
some whiz
dying to
mummies maybe.
that blue dragon, that was basically was tri-state 50%.
Yeah, fantastic. I really like. I like the tri-state flag. I get it. Not knowing how stuff, especially, I think it's very interesting the way it works with the loose items in this flag set, and the incentivized dungeons won't have loose items, but you're not sure if the item placed in the incentive chest was for sure incentivized or
So yeah,
loose.
Shooms going
So
in has the full party up this time, so might have a better shot at this one.
definitely better situated.
Yeah, he's getting the fast probably, maybe. Okay, there goes the fast
Yeah.
and a
All
lock
right.
spell, just to and the cheeky bane sword I like. Like you may as well just try because the 4 damage or the 2 damage that the thief is gonna pump out there is not important. But
Yeah, it'd be a
here's a big
moment, right?
nuclear. All right, red mage lives. I think the red mage has cure 3. No.
Heal 2. I don't know about. Go ahead. Not
All
alive
right,
anymore, so it doesn't matter.
whole day and pray. That's ooh, inferno as well, and nuclear. Ooh, low roll nuclear though. All right, big hit, 16 hits. If he only punches, he might be good. Final punch for the win. Nope. Oh, punch. Okay. Oh, nuclear.
Oh, so close. That is such rude chaos.
uh,
Fantastic attempt. Now he's got to be like, I can do that now. So now we just go back.
yeah. Honestly, like I I can't remember where it was, but like I would consider getting the white mage with the cure 4
Yep.
and heal 3 and such.
Yeah, just guaranteeing you have a little bit the ability to stretch that fight out 1 or 2 turns more, right?
Yeah.
Based on what you've seen, that would do it. It's definitely an option, right? Especially since the character XP transfers over. If you remember where your white mage was at some quest NPC, you could just run back and grab one.
Yep. Yeah. Heal magic is You never know. Like, heal magic is much better on the tougher Tophers, obviously, but you never know if you're gonna have a tough Topher or not. But yeah, like
Exactly.
Cure 4, Heal 3, so important on a lot of these harder flag sets, or a lot of these harder Tophers when they have nuclears and nukes and tornadoes and whatnot.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I was
just
going to
got to
mention
be
too.
able to
The other
heal it up.
bad thing about the black belt is no ribbon, so they take full elemental damage. So the Inferno is elemental, is fire, which you can negate with like a ribbon, but black belt usually doesn't have one of those. So even stuff like Infernos and Blazes, they're going to take a lot of damage from those AoE spells. Even Ice 3, stuff like that, like it's a lot of damage without the ribbon on.
Yeah, we see 210 there. Not an amount you really can take several of, right? Before
No,
you're going to need to deal with it somehow. And
not out of
healing
32.
is limited.
Yeah, not out of 32 black belt. Oh, ouch. It should be fine. It's got life 2 still as long as this nuke kills. Yeah. So can get
Bosses
the black belt
being
up.
rude, as they should be.
Yeah. It's one of those things, fun to watch, terrible to play.
Yeah, definitely a better experience for us as viewers. But that's why it's good. To be on this side of the computer screen at this point and not on where the runners are, which will be a few days for both of us, I think. I
All right,
wonder too, do you
round 3.
switch directions if this doesn't work and see if maybe you get through with a little more resources? Although he didn't have too much of a struggle with the direction he was going.
Yeah, there's a nuclear. All right, everyone lives, but the red mage and the black mage are very low, and when all you have is a heal 2, I'm gonna expect the thief to pop a nope, no heal potion. Going for a cheeky bane sword, I think that was.
No breaks, just gas.
Yep. I mean, I don't hate it. 3 and 256. It can happen. All right, get a heal 2 off. Very low, but it's something.
Would
Nuke
it
chip damage 288, not bad.
would it be a bonus point if it's chaos that you kill with an instant death ability?
We can ask the committee on that one. I would vote for it. Not that I have a vote, but that is the other thing too. We mentioned it at the very beginning, but that thief does have plus int, right? So those heal potions are going to heal for a decent amount.
Yep, chug them. Add them to whoever's not quite full. And just it's the only heal
Black
you
belt,
really have.
black
Like
belt.
so, yeah,
You
you might
just
as well be doing it.
you're just shoving the heal potions down his throat, like drink up. All right, doing okay. He's got full stacks of ruse. He's in punching mode now. Mostly full HP.
Yeah, added a couple nukes to chaos as well, so not bad to have some
16
extra
hits,
chip damage.
665. Yep. All right, just down to the black belt in KS, mano a mano. Low roll tornado, that's what you want to see. Inferno 122, also low roll. He's above the 400 threshold and terminated.
Hey, GG to Bobby.
GG's. Third time's the charm.
Chaos Tover in general, just sort of showing a lot of what this flag set is about. I think a lot of you struggle along the way as far as XP, and then Topher just really putting you on the back foot. A lot of times you've got to figure out what your plan is with the resources you've got, or do you just change plans once you've
Yeah.
seen what he's got?
Yeah, you can throw yourself. That is the benefit of this with 2-path mid Topher. It is quick to throw yourself at it another attempt, hope for better RNG, and that's what Shooms did, and it paid off. So well played. 107.53.
Definitely well played. The black belt call, not surprising, but definitely put to good use. I feel like, that safety it presents, especially since Shooms didn't pick up a white mage, was definitely, necessary to get through that. I wouldn't have wanted to do that with Thief Fighter Red, Black Smudge.
So that was first place on Restream and first place overall, by the way. 107.53.
Fantastic.
There was an accidental done at 17 minutes, which I've certainly never done before. Oops. But yeah, that was quickly undone. Noticed a mistake. So that's kind of
It's
fun.
easy to do, especially if you, are typically used to splitting on certain objectives and you're tied into the race room with your live
exactly.
split. Very easy to accidentally hit that button, or just, accidentally bump something that's set up to toggle your splits.
Yeah, I've certainly done it too, where I expect the boss to die, and I'm like, all right, this is the last hit, and like I preemptively click it, and I'm like, oh, you're still alive. You're not supposed to be.
100%, 100%. Especially with the way you try to get used to buffering inputs in this game, because there is so much time in between screens. We're joined by the winner, GG Shumbabi.
I didn't realize I could move people. GG's.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I was just hanging out. I didn't want to move myself. Give you an opportunity.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. How you doing?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Can breathe a little easier.
Yeah, no, I'm still tense. It's that wasn't the worst. I mean, of all the seats I've run on this flag set, this was the first I finished, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, first place overall, so can't complain with that kind of result.
Oh
really.
no, I can complain. There were
Yeah.
there were a lot of wipes on this one, but I mean, they're my mistakes.
I missed the one in I think it was Earth Cave. Was it right after killing Lich, or did you leave the dungeon and not save?
I killed Lich. I didn't save because it was 4 steps to the airship, and on the tile that I stepped on the airship, I got stun locked. Then,
Yep, that's happened to me too.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I mean, that is not what you want to have happen.
No, plus side, I mean, I was able to run back through Earth Cave, and I actually got the instant kill, so we picked up a bonus.
Yeah, that was good. The other, I know you already had it at that point, but the other one was the carry, weak to time, so that could have been a fun opportunity for a zap, but you already had it, so it did not need to try again.
Yeah, I probably wasn't gonna look too deep into the other fiends if I didn't get it at that point, but
yeah,
this is an interesting one.
Yeah, we were talking a lot of the tri-states, very tricky. Kind of don't know what you're, looking at really a lot of the time.
I had this solved at about, 20 minutes, and then it was just a matter of actually doing the things, and so the XP was a huge hurdle.
Yeah,
as it is,
that black belt a little prematurely, but I was like tired of grinding on dragons, and so I got a single dragon, and it still didn't work.
Yeah, that blue dragon was not like especially when the black belt was in slot 3. Noticed a lot of crits, and it's like, ow, like 400, 500 damage crits too.
It feels like there's like semi-set RNG. It's bizarre how consistently screwed I was getting.
Yep, even on chaos on slot 3, same thing, big crit through not quite mass. It was 2 brew sticks, but still, it was a lot of evasion.
Yeah. Oh well. Things happen.
Yeah. What kind of thoughts did you have, like, going into it? Did you have like a game plan? Were you your route was interesting. I really liked it. Kind of like clockwise, provoke into some of the easier stuff. But
yeah, so we started adamant, chime, herb, and crown. So I wasn't about to use the chime right away, but like provoke at a crescent, turn in the herb, turn in the crown, turn in the adamant, and come back up to Canaria just like made sense given that set of items.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to get as much of that out of the way, grab my hints wherever I could. So I knew that I probably didn't have to go to Marsh, but I could have if I wanted to, and that Marsh wasn't tri-stated on because of where the item was.
What was in Marsh? I think I missed that.
Marsh was in the Ruby in the northwest.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So once I established that was a loose, I just started hunting down the other loose items, and I kept track of how many loose there were. And with the black belt having the loot, there was no need to go hunting for it, so I just gotta go quick.
Ended up being in Sky, but yeah, we were talking about that because as soon as you get the cube, it's like, oh, you're in go mode technically because the black belt's right there. You can just grab the loot whenever you want, right?
Yeah,
because you don't even have to keep them
into the cube because I was just like, I'm kind of up here for the waterfall. Let's try it. And TNT into cube was not what I expected, but certainly ideal.
Yeah, you were the first one to get that. That was a pretty nasty little chain. Bottle shop item to canoe to waterfall, which had TNT, which then gave cube. So pretty long chain for one of those kind of.
Especially without C being required, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it give some of the other runners a little bit of time before they found that sort of route to get that item.
Yeah, it was a fun one to watch because, like, as soon as the game started, all 4 of you guys, vastly different directions. It was like, oh god, who do I watch?
Yeah, it's interesting because this flag set is reminiscent of a free enterprise, but it's not. It doesn't play like free enterprise would.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's just enough stuff that's kind of keeping you back. Free Enterprise is much faster and just sort of like turn in the quests and go, but this one has you having to stop along the way.
Yeah, never heard of that game before. What game?
Oh no, Free Enterprise is
I'm teasing.
oh,
I played a lot of Free Enterprise.
You did FF4, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. A lot of Sphere Zero stuff in Free Enterprise, so you kind of have that little set route that you can do. This one, yeah, like you said, a lot of stopping and going.
Also, with the free items, it kind of dictates different paths, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always choose the wrong ones. It's you start with Crown, Herb, whatever, and every location I go to, it's like, here's Crown. It's like, oh, all right.
Well, you can't have that happen if you go directly to the location that it's needed at.
That is the
That's a
true,
very good point.
right? Yeah, getting the Zonk key items on this is weird feeling, because you're still you got to poke for recruits sometimes, if your party comp isn't the way you want, even if you potentially don't need what the quest giver gives you.
I mean, seeing Bicky at like 15 seconds with a black belt behind him was like, okay, there's my game plan.
Yeah, I was talking about that because I know, being on the same team, that you're kind of eyeballing that black belt a little bit, so it was fun to see that kind of unfold.
Yeah, my first 5 practices, I didn't even realize that black belt was only tri-state, and so I kept going for it, never finding it, and I was like, screw this game.
Yep, tri-state on recruit only. It can't be in the draft itself. What did you think about the draft?
It's safe. I mean, like, obviously I did well on this particular seed, but I was hoping for a real dumpster fire draft, because I'm comfortable playing weird parties, especially with the AoE caster item. Like, I'm not really concerned. It's just going to be a matter of recognizing, like, is my party going to be able to run or not?
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, on the whole, I guess it's nice that we had a normal party, so to speak.
Yep. That was probably like the party I would have taken, even if it wasn't draft, honestly. Outside of maybe like a black belt, but
like, yeah, I much rather would have preferred the white, and I heard you guys talking about like maybe go back and grab that white. I just to reshop for spells is just way too much, and with that nuclear coming out so early, I was worried that the black mage would die before the fast gets off, and so I want 2 fast casters there.
Yeah, that's fair.
What a wild Topher.
Yeah, very thick chaos, multiple nuclears, blaze, and all the other fun stuff, tornado.
Yeah, he definitely did not hold anything back at the end of the seed. Anything that was in reserve throughout the rest of it, Chaos decided to pull out at the end there.
Yeah, with the exception of my little snafu after Earth Cave, the rest of the seed really wasn't that wild.
No, you didn't do much, really.
Yeah, no, I guess it was just a grind, right?
Yeah, there wasn't really much to do. Like, the Earth Caves, obviously, like you said, was a nasty one. Sky was whatever. You just walk up, punch thing. And same with Volcano, really. So there wasn't much going on. Marsh did have some nasty stuff.
We routed the go mode, and that helped a lot, not having to go anywhere else for anything you need, but your orbs and your grind just, makes up a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm very curious where the eyeball or Agama ended up being.
I half considered hunting them down, but
yeah, I thought you were
dragon wasn't good enough. So what I should have done was step on the Agama tile and the.
Oh, you didn't pick them?
The volcano armory tile. I didn't check either.
Yeah. I'm not too sure. I'm sure some of the other runners did. I might have missed it. So yeah, I'm not too sure what was there. Sadly.
Nothing super special, or we would remember, right?
One might imagine.
Yeah, I no guarantees on that.
That's scare.
But yeah, Gouda in Chaos, looking a bit better this time. Just kind of low HP, but alive still, and that's where you want to be. 10 hits, 700 damage. Throwing out the nuke for the damage. 316, very nice. Inferno, ouch. 16 hits, 815. Ooh, nuclear, very low roll. 11 hits, 341. Last hit? Question mark? Hey, GG's.
GG's Gouda taking down another mean chaos.
Yeah, barely. Like, that black belt is having a rough time.
I've been told that that's how your party should look at the end of the game.
With a
though, is
fighter.
One, well, sure, but one person in critical HP and 3 dead people, right? That's
With a
the
fighter. With a
optimal
black
way.
belt, you want to see 3 people dead and black belt at like 800 HP because you just one-shot the boss.
That's fair.
Badoom, welcome in. We have Gouda. GG's.
Well,
GG's
thank you.
Gouda.
I thought that I was flying in that seed, and then Chaos said, "Nah, no, you're not." And
Yeah, yeah.
then I'm like, "I guess I'll go right." Oh, toxic? What? Come on.
I'll let you in
And I'm
on a
like-
secret. Shooms, close your ears right quick. You were flying. You were by far ahead of anyone else going into Topher.
I mean, that's what happens when you're level 12 on 3 of your characters.
Yeah, that's fair. I was like, it's a brave dive, but like again, 2-path Topher, mid Topher.
Right.
Could be
And
a
on
little
top of that,
risky,
like,
right?
I had a 20, what did I have, 26 black belt, I think, and I had fast, and I'm like, I gotta at least try it.
There is a
and
world.
When I got bopped, I was like, ugh. Like, as the biggest thing was, I had a Roostic, I had a defense, and I'm like, at least I can get some thief defenses up and like get him to punch him. And as long as there's no scripts, I'm fine. Well, let
There
me
was
tell
scripts.
you.
Welcome to Alt Fiends.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Indeed,
scripts.
there were scripts.
But yeah, I got my knight up to like 21 at, I don't know, 25 minutes or something on the what was it? The Frost Wolf tile using.
Yeah, that was an interesting grind. It really worked, honestly.
I mean, it was like 3K per fight, so it totally made sense. It was better than anything else because it was as long as I got more than 3. Like the 6 or
Yeah.
7 Frost Wolves was a ton of XP, and then I got pretty tilted doing a grind on the stupid Hall of Dragons because magically the Red D's decided they were going to have glare.
Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw a lot of dirt naps.
Yeah. They punched hard, but the glare was not. It was first turn if they decided to use their script.
Was it first off the hard reset zombie dragons?
Yeah, it was zombie
Yes.
dragons and then followed by red Ds. And if you could get 4
Yeah.
zombie Ds, 4 red Ds, that was just a boatload of XP.
Quote unquote boatload. Half
A
as much
canoe
as
load, maybe. In this
yeah,
fight,
canoe
though.
load. We'll go with a dinghy load. But when that's the best XP in the game, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to go back. When I had the dragons right there, I wasn't going to go back and do more Frost Wolves, even though Frost Wolves were super safe. Like, 4 red Ds is a ton of XP if you can get them down.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's what Darkmoon's doing right now. He's doing the exact same grind that I did.
Yep.
But this is not fun.
No, at the end of the day, this is probably the best grind. I don't think anyone found eyes or agamas or anything like that. Not that.
I did
I
every
mean-
single tile in Volcano, and there was nothing there.
I'm thinking ordeals, I guess.
the Agama.
I was
Yeah.
thinking C. Sharknado floor has
Or
some.
see, yeah.
I would have saved 2 minutes if I would have not gotten lost in ordeals and just said, I guess I'm just not going to do ordeals.
Yeah. We were watching that. I feel for you.
That's the first time I've gotten lost in ordeals in a long time. I'm like, all right, I got this. And then I'm like, there is no way to actually get to the right steps. Okay.
Yeah. Did you not have warp charges, or did you?
I ran out
Forget
of them
about warp?
because I totally got lost.
Yeah. Okay.
And I hadn't even been drinking tonight. Oh, cheeky Brackstrats by Admiral Tryhard.
Yeah, he's been
I
doing
wanted to see it so bad.
He's been throwing them out everywhere. Expert Brack was for Bahamut. He got that one, which was great. It's been a lot of
Nice.
cheeky little plays. Which
Probably trying to get a bonus point for every fiend that he does it to.
get. It counts.
That's the strategy,
one,
right?
right?
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's excellent.
I tried to get a quad X in, and then I realized I didn't have charges because it was level 6.
Mm.
And by the time my 32 black belt punched, I mean, can I get it? I definitely one-shot a boss.
Oh, I saw
cast
defenseless.
punch.
Yeah, punch with enough damage, that's instant death, right?
Yeah.
Like they died instantly. So
Right, my black belt cast punch. I think that counts.
Come on, hit the brack. There was a defenseless, so expert did hit, so there is technically a brack kill possible here.
what are the odds?
It's a good question actually. Not too sure. It still has very high MDef.
Not
It's just
good.
not resistant to things.
I mean, he's got to hit it at this point, right? Like, he's throwing out so many of them. And
would think so.
somehow, how in the world is he getting Chaos to punch when all Chaos did to me was 5 turns of nuclear?
Oh, he's throwing out the fear. That would
That would be sick if he got fear.
That would be the best kill, quote unquote.
Is it technically terminated at that point?
Oh, there it is, brack. Let's
Brack
go.
kill, awesome.
Nice.
Love to see it.
GG's.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
I think we talked about it in here, but we were saying if you can get that on Chaos, I feel like that should be an extra point. On top of
But it
the,
isn't.
Nope,
Oops.
but it should be.
Should be. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be opposed in future races for that to be a thing.
I mean, with his party, Brack, I think, was probably the best strat to go with.
Yeah, the thief is kind of the issue, right? The lower HP pool, especially with the -30. So when Chaos has all the nuclears and all the tornadoes and such, it's a tough one to live through.
Yeah, he got pretty lucky with no like back-to-back nuclear inferno nuclears, because that would have wrecked him.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it goes. Usually, like especially in group races, you see like the first place person be like, "Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, that's weird. Oh no, I just
Right?
punched him in the head."
Like week 1 with the set RNG was money. Because you never had to worry about, oh, is he going to throw out a cheeky, I don't know, insta-death spell? No, we know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, usually set RNG works very nicely in a lot of flag sets. I think one that has this much scripting in the pool is probably less than ideal.
Yeah, because it could literally just screw everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Forever.
Right, yeah, your choices are grind to 50 in some of those situations just to have the
Even that
HP
just
to
may
like
not
deal
work.
with it.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Right, if it goes nuclear, inferno, nuclear, nuke, even though
Yeah.
you can't have back-to-back nuclear, but yeah, that's just, you're done.
it's never happened before. But no, Admiral Tryhard in chat too says every boss was insta-killed. Respect.
That's fantastic, especially, you know, alt fiends for fun and profit and instant death.
But what's amazing is last week it was like bin 1, bin 2, generally done. Like you had bin 1, bin 2 because everybody was just right there. This week we've got first place, bin 1, second place, bin 2, third place, bin 3, with 2 people and Melkin coming in 1 second before he started bin 4 in 4th place. And then Tryhard in 5th place with bin 4, Iker in 6th place with bin, what is that, 5? Like, there's all the bins. We got all the bins.
There's a lot of bins. But yeah, a flag set like this is going to be much more variance compared to set RNG, obviously. But yeah, it's not surprising, but it's still interesting to see.
Well, this flag is super interesting because it could be, what, -1 to 6 loose or something like that?
Yep.
But then you also
18
get...
to 24.
Yeah, because then you also get items with all of your characters, generally. So suddenly, maybe there's not loose. And it always feels bad when you grab a chest and you hear "Da-da-da-da," and it's something that you already have, and you're like,
Yep.
no!
Yeah, that's been my experience. I haven't done a ton of these, but that's been my experience for the most part. It's like, oh, I just played like I normally do, right? Like, oh, I'll go to Marsh. Yeah, cool. And it's like, cool, it's a herb that I had that I just used, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting the way the key items end up just either falling into your pocket or hiding away, sort of in these flags, right? You can grab
Especially
so
this
many of
one.
them for free, but not necessarily all of them.
You had very, very fast go mode in this one.
Yeah, definitely. Rod was pretty quick. Cube, yeah, was not the one that was hiding
Cube was a
away
tricky
just a
one,
little bit,
yeah.
but
And Canoe, where was Canoe again? Canoe was
Canoe
hiding
was
a
in
little bit.
the cube chain. It was from Bottle. Or sorry, it
Ah,
was from. Yeah, it was from
yeah,
Bottle, and the
Bottle
Waterfall
to
had
Canoe.
TNT. TNT had Cube.
okay.
So yeah, it was a kind of gross little chain. Not one that you usually see on a flag set like this, where you start with key items.
Because I remember
Yeah.
at some point I was like, wait a minute, why don't I have the Canoe?
Yeah.
But that
So,
is that's also the crazy thing about this flag set. So anybody who's new to this game, I would not start with this flag set
No.
because this flag set is
No.
absolutely like way out there. Like you better know the game pretty well because if you start with 5 different key items, you need to know where you're going to go first. And then on top of that, you have your free checks. So they're like when you get a free airship, the world is wide open, and now you also have the ability to turn a whole bunch of stuff in. Like it can get pretty crazy pretty fast, and inside of your brain you go, "Blah, what's happening?"
Yeah, it turns the logic into like spaghetti. It's wild.
Yeah, props for being able to follow all the logic early when you're grabbing key items that you already have or not getting them because you're resetting past them but trying to remember where they were so you know where not to go and waste some time.
So were you always eyeballing like black belt strats, by the way, or did you just kind of pick it up for the loot and kind of ran with it for a little bit, or
So
did you have a game plan?
So generally, I will stick with a fighter if I get a good sword. In this case, the Xcal rolled to I think -1. So I was like, no, we're not doing fighter strats because like I've had one of my seeds had Xcal +4. Okay, you can stick with a fighter in that case. But when black belt was so early, so free, that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna take the fighter, use him to grind up because it's easier to grind a fighter at low levels than it is for a black belt.
Oh yeah,
Got to
a lot of good armor.
21, right? Got to 21, went straight to black belt, and I'm like, all right, I probably could do more if I needed to here, but I think with the party comp that I have, I thought that once I grabbed a few levels on everybody else, mid-20s would be okay on the black belt. Obviously, I was wrong, but I mean, if I would have gone to 32 to start with, I probably would have shaved 20 minutes off. Because
Yeah,
I was in Topher at what 53 minutes and
You're
going to
50
20.
on the dot, I think, when you first
Yeah.
entered Topher.
So then I would have had another probably 6 minutes of grinding to get another 11 levels on those wolves.
Mhm.
So yeah, I probably would have been done with Topher, assuming good RNG. Because even at 32, I
Yeah,
was
I
not
was gonna
having
say.
good RNG.
Yeah, because that's what Humes went in 32 and got bounced twice before finally cracking it.
Yeah, so I would have probably been right around Shoom's time had I gone to 32 to start with instead of stopped at 21. But them's the breaks when you decide that you're going to go all sorts of risky.
Yeah, again, like the two path mid Topher lends itself more to being risky because
Right.
it's very quick to throw attempts at it.
Mm-hmm. That is
Especially
exactly the
when
way. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, especially with how quickly you can get go mode in these, and get everything put together. It's feel like it'd be a shame to not just give it a shot, right?
Right, exactly.
I've
I mean,
completed.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I completed one of these. I don't know how many I've done, like 4-ish. The only one I completed was a level 17-18 party with a fighter, and I'm just like, maybe I'll see. And I ended up killing it, and I was like, oh, yay! Question mark.
Right. And the first time I did these flags, I went 32 black belt and just walked through Topher with no problem, but it was really slow. So the
Yeah.
second time, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go with like a 19 fighter. And then I just got bounced so hard. And then I'm like, oh no. But also, the first time that I did these flags, I was like, wait, am I in go mode? And it was like, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be in go mode for an hour. And then I was in go mode in like 25 minutes. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did I miss something? Am I messed up? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, that's when you start stressing out because it's like, yes, I can go to 32 on the black belt, but everyone else you have to assume has go mode very early as well.
Right.
It gets really nerve wracking.
The only time that these flags can get super interesting is when there's like a loose cube somewhere, and you're like, so my strats with these, I check Matoya, I check Cardia, I get my money because then I can do whatever, which is why I had bottle money to start with, and then after that I go off to wherever, usually Toph, but I do Volcano very early and full clear it because it's the one dungeon that's not incentivized, so there's likely going to be loose items in there.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
I had a practice seed recently where there were 3 loose items in the armory floor in Volcano, and I was just like, "Are you serious right now? Like, should I keep going?"
But when things like load no loose and incentivized dungeons, say a lot of things load incentivized, Volcano has the vast majority of chests compared to everywhere else, right? So
Right, and then on top of that, Volcano's got a ton of spike tiles, so you could probably find a grind there too on top of it. So like, Volcano is just the spot.
it's one of my favorite places to find it because then you can just walk on lava if you need to lower the party members or anything like that.
Absolutely. But then you have a seed like this where there's nothing good in Volcano.
Nope. Nothing good really anywhere. All the weapons rolled low, except for the Sun Sword, which was nice to see, but everything was just bad. Vorpal was -1 or 2, Katana was -1, I think, Excalibur was -1.
I never found the Katana, which made me sad, but
Yeah,
I'm assuming it
-1.
was in Marsh, maybe? Because I never did Marsh.
No, Marsh was Ruby, I think. That might have been loose, so there might have been. I can't remember. It was really tough because like I was saying to Shooms, as soon as the seed started, all 4 of you went wildly different directions, and it was a lot. It's like, what do I watch? I don't know.
The real question is, where was Temper?
Oh, Katana was in Titan's Tunnel. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Katana and Titans, but where was Temper?
No one saw it that I saw. No one got it anyways.
I'd assume level 7 or 8 then.
Yeah, somewhere in Gaia or
Booge says level 8 Temper, which I should have had a couple of charges of with my level 20 something Black Mage, but
he started with Elemental Plus too, right? So he would have
yeah
had at least 2 charges anyways.
Yep, that's right. True.
Which was always fun to see. Don't have to worry about early sweepers, at least.
I always forget about that.
Yeah.
I always forget that there's the extra level 8 spells.
Yep. I usually remember when I'm going to like, okay, I need to heal 3 at level 5. Oh, I have nuke.
Yep, exactly.
At level
If
8.
it defaulted to the second page early or something, that would help me remember a lot. Because I'm going through like, what do I have? What do I have? I don't, scroll up to the level 8 spells and be like, oh yeah, I had that LE plus bursting this whole time.
And yeah, as Mecklin says, loot was in Sky, and it was Sky 2, I believe, is where I found it.
Yep.
But it was also on the Black
Belt. Yeah.
So if you decided to go grab the Black Belt, you got a free loot.
Which is like, even if you weren't going to go Black Belt, you could always swap the Black Belt out for something else later, right? So.
And the great thing, unless things have changed, you guys can tell me. I haven't been keeping up with all. We get so many new versions of this game, but at least previously, if you traded out a party member, your party member is max everything that it can be for that level.
I believe so, yeah.
So, I mean, you're getting max HP, max int, max vitality.
Oh, you mean like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty cool.
I could be wrong.
Then, even if I had a fighter, I would swap it out for another fighter if I could.
Right. As long as you don't have spells on it.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the biggest thing. So you have to remember, when you're swapping out characters, your spells don't stay. So if you're swapping a red mage for a red mage, now it might be worth a trip to Lefane to see the superstore.
I'm glad my race is later this week, now that I know this additional piece of information. I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah, I'm constantly learning in this.
That's the great thing about this game, as well as, in my opinion, like one of its more nuanced things. The newer people who are getting into the community, there's a lot to learn. Thank God we have this wiki that has everything in it. Mm-hmm. You want to learn something? You spend a day on this wiki, you will learn FFR.
Oh, yeah. I've been playing this game for years, and I still have the wiki on bookmark, and I go to it constantly.
Yeah, there's just so many different aspects to the randomizer and the game itself, honestly. Like, even taking out the randomization, just looking at how the core game is built and what's flexed with the randomizer, there's a lot you can do, and then add in all the individual flags that do something, plus the way flags interact with each other. Yeah, you're looking over the flag set and the wiki fairly often.
Which I love. It's like 5 different
Agreed.
randomizers in one on this game.
Definitely. Somebody who's come into it fairly recently, it felt overwhelming looking at it from the outside, I'll be honest. And that's what kept me away for so long. But as soon as I sort of dipped my toes in, I just realized what sort of experience it could be for me. And whatever I want it to be, right? Like you can customize the flags in so many different ways. Plus, there's all of these flags that's built by members of the community that run that all sort of show off different aspects of what the randomizer can do and things that people like personally or groups of people like, to see. And it's wonderful to see.
And you had some
Absolutely.
like kind of cool, maybe little handsome people helping you out. Something like that. It's also helpful.
Dark Moon down to just the fighter, swinging that Sunsword +1, 7 hits.
Low roll
100
nuclear.
damage.
Goodness.
Yeah, 8 hits, 100 damage is not what you want to see, sadly.
No. Not when this Chaos has 3,600 HP.
As long as he keeps punching.
If he keeps punching, whole day and prey strats. Here we go. 5 hits, 128. Punch miss.
Yeah, he's in it.
5
Is
hits,
he?
128. Yes, he's got it. He's got the crit loop.
Yeah, he's in the crit loop. All right, it's just a matter of time now.
So explain that to me.
I wish I
understand what's
could.
happening.
128's going to get you there. It's not going to get you there fast.
No.
But it's going to get you there.
It's just a thing
Especially-
with the pointer system and a bunch of technical jargon. But essentially, if you get into this loop, if you just hold A, it's kind of set in this RNG loop of he will always do 5 hits, 128, and Chaos will always punch and miss.
Yep.
Hey, then
And-
yeah, sure thing is a win, in my opinion,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, even if it's a little slower.
So I had this.
We've seen people do like 5 hits, 5 damage.
Yeah,
And does it
there's
take,
a GIF of it.
does it take flipping forever? Yes, it
Yeah.
does. But you know
Yeah.
what? You get there.
Ask
Especially when
Oslado, he'll
Chaos
show
is
you.
awful.
Yeah, better to just see punches and do 120 damage around them, risk the nuclears and the tornadoes that this guy's
Absolutely.
got in his pool for sure.
So yeah, I had
And,
this.
and for the new people who are watching this, there's a reason why Darkmoon has put his fighter into slot 4. Slot 3 and slot 4 have a higher chance of getting into the crit loop than slot 1 and slot 2. Why?
Terminated.
I don't know.
GG's.
GG, Darkmoon. Way to make it.
Yeah, I had this one time, and I went to put my controller down to put something heavy on A because I didn't want to hold it because I was doing like no damage, and I accidentally hit reset, and I cried.
That's the worst.
So
Definitely
yeah,
a
4
side effect
kills,
of biting your resets.
2 black belt kills, 1 RNG loop, and 1 Exfer/Brack, which is really cool.
That is, I mean, these flags, man, these flags have a tendency to just go that way, where you have to take what they're going to give you, and if they're going to give you a 5 hits 128 crit loop, you're going to have to take it, because
Oh, yeah.
otherwise Chaos is going to say, ha ha ha, you know what I'm going to do? Drop the bomb, baby.
Yep. No, in that situation, absolutely, you take what you are given and run with it, or hold A with it, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's a lot of how this flag set in particular goes, really. Your grind fights, you're taking what you can get because the XP scaling is not going to get a lot better. And hunting will take so long. And then, yeah, versus these alt feeds, like, yeah, just you never know what's going to end up in the pool. So getting a fight like that, guaranteed fantastic.
And let's take for a second here. Let's appreciate the insane difference from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, we were talking about that. First place, bin 1. Second place, bin 2. Third place, bin 3, with a couple other people, I think it was.
There were 2 of us in bin 3, yes. And one of
Yeah.
them by 1 second.
Yeah. which
Yeah, the spike set's definitely gonna lend a lot more divergence and flex to those times. I feel like just there's a lot of things runners might not see with
And
those
then
spoiler seeds. Everybody was sort of fine tuning to the same point in the end eventually, you know.
right.
yeah, this is
And
the one that I'm the most
unfortunately,
worried about.
Demon Frog has decided to stop beating his own face against this Topher and has forfeited from the race.
Very
So
understandable.
rip rip Demon Frog. Understandable though, as the Woo Bear said. It's just this was not a pretty chaos. And I saw
No.
somebody in chat say that it was a 50-50 whether he was gonna punch or nuclear you. And
Pretty much.
when it's 50-50, I mean, I honestly kind of was glad that he was nuclearing me because he punched hard.
Yeah, if
Black
you did
Belt's
not
like,
have your
haha, I hit you
Roostic setup.
15 times for 27 damage. Chaos is like, I hit you once for death.
Yeah, one of the wipes for Shibabi was a crit through two sticks, two Roost sticks, and not full evasion, but still a crit for like 500 something damage in slot 3. Ouch.
Yeah, good times. What a seed. Thavian Hawk, exactly correct in the race room. What a seed. What a
What a
seed.
seed.
And we're
Welcome
only
in.
going to see this more often because we have 3 more of these races.
I don't have to watch
Yes.
those, though. I'm going to be elsewhere. I don't have to suffer anymore.
Oh,
You're gonna be
don't
on
even.
a food
You,
crawl.
you
That was
know that
awesome.
you're going to be suffering with us, even if it's not even while you're watching. People are going to tell you about the pain, and you're going
That
to
was
feel it
so
in your
awful.
bones.
Seriously, if I hadn't landed that crit loop, I'd be here another 20 minutes, okay?
Yeah, we
You
were
and
really excited when we saw that.
you and Demon Frog would be in the .ff pool together.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where I was like, I'm sure you guys were cheering because you were sitting there going, we don't have to be on stream for another 30 minutes. Mm,
After I beat my face against Topher for like 5 times, I was
Yep.
like, where's everybody else finishing? And then when I finished third, I was like, honestly very close to just being like, I don't know what else to do. I could go to 50, but that's gonna take me an hour.
Yeah, no, if I had failed this dive, my next plan was to go and buy temper. Not that I felt like I was going to be able to get many shots of it off because chaos was just ugly. And then go to level 50 on my fighter in the Hall of Dragons because there just wasn't much else you could do.
Right.
Yeah, no, there was nothing. I mean, it was that or forfeit.
Right.
Which, honestly, legitimate strategy for this particular chaos because, like, I think he was what 66% skills, and he had nuclear, tornado, swirl, nuclear.
Yep.
Inferno, nuclear. I think it was 50-50, Sabian Hawk saying in chat.
Okay.
Nuclear, tornado, Inferno, nuclear.
Well,
So he's either punching or he's nuclearing, basically.
And
it
he
certainly
punched
felt
hard.
more like 66%.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that my chaos fight was more like 90%. I think he punched once, and then the
Yeah.
rest was like he looped twice, and the only reason I survived was because of a heel stick.
And then twice I got punched through max evade to kill my character. I'm like, game, please, come
Yeah.
on, okay?
That was happening all over the board. It was tough.
Yeah, it happens. I'm at least through it, and then my team can try and do better than I did. I'm just happy I finished, and I feel like we're gonna have a lot of people like that this week.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
This is one that I'm dreading the most for sure. The other ones I can play safe. I know I can finish. This one I'm like, man, it was scary.
so
This is where you just thunderbot it. Walk in, die. Walk in, die.
Yeah.
Walk in, die. Walk
Yeah.
in, die.
the only major mistake I made was forgetting that incentive items couldn't be in Sky, which is the only. I mean, I got levels and I got some good gear from it, so I didn't like hate that I did it, but it was a 5-minute time waste. But then, I mean, Topher was a 40-minute time waste, so in the end, it balanced out. And I'm pretty sure some of that gear actually helped me in the long run. So
Yeah, that's something I've seen a lot. Is just how much looting the gear that's going to help you. Like, is that saving time in Topher at the end? Because without some of that stuff, right, some of those fights are just miserable experiences.
That
So
is the counter strat is, do you open up a ton of boxes and hope that you can find fighter thief gear, or do you find the black belt that may or may not exist behind
that was actually my
somebody?
question. Was there a black belt? I heard there was one in Provoca, but I must have misread what was said there.
Yeah, there was one. It was
Okay.
behind Vicky.
I would have taken it. I thought it was a thief or a red mage. My dyslexia kicked in. And I just misread what was there, and I'm just like, well, I'm fightering it then. Okay.
Yeah, they do look very similar, the thief and the black belt.
They
Well,
do.
And the fighter,
especially
really.
when half your
Yeah.
characters look like turtles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's fair too.
So
Which
that was why I
turtle
had
is
to read.
that?
I had to
So
read the text, and I screwed that up. So
you just have to you'll have to switch the black belt sprite from a turtle into like Master Splinter. So that
I
way you
actually
know exactly who the black belt is.
I actually have a variant version where I put slightly different details on each of the turtles. Like Leonardo has a katana on his back, and the Donatello has a headscarf, like because he sometimes wears that in the comics. But
Mhm.
when I realized I could just read the text and then cancel back out afterwards, I just decided not to switch my sprites because I was used to them, and
Mm.
that bit me in the butt this time with my dyslexia. And I'm just like, oh, that was a black. Well, now. Not that I really wanted to grind a black belt to 42. I mean, come on, that still would take an hour.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
everyone who took one went to 32, which still took quite a while.
Yeah,
yeah.
no doubt. I mean, my fighter was there anyway just because I couldn't get through the dang seed, but what are you gonna do?
Hey, you did it. You get through, anyways.
We're gonna beat our face on chaos, and we're gonna come back next week on Tuesday, and we're gonna do it again.
Yep. Well, unless you guys have questions for me, I'm good.
Yeah, I gotta get some sleep too, guys.
Yeah.
This was a hell of a seed.
Yeah, no, I'm good unless uh, any final thoughts and that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can take it away if you want. Potato, any questions?
No, I'm good. It was definitely a fantastic showing from everybody. I was very excited to come in here and see how everybody was going to approach it, not having seen how a lot of these races sort of actually flow across the board. So it was very exciting to see did the spread at the beginning right away, and everybody coming back and having just an absolutely miserable time with chaos. So
Yeah. So GG's again, all the runners, and for the tri-state restream that we got going finally. Thank you for stepping in at the last second,
yes,
Yes, thank
Fabian,
you.
and
props to Sabian for
yeah,
saving the restream. It was touch and go there for quite a while, but teamwork got it all working.
teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you, Thavian Hawk. Thank you, Coms. Thank you, Woo Bear and Potato for doing everything. I mean, it's a fun time. Thanks for having me and letting me kind of spout off for like 20 minutes. It's
Yeah, no,
been a while
it's
since
always
I've been
fun to
on
have people
stream
in the
on
booth.
comms.
Yeah, always happy to have people in the booth.
And GG to
Definitely.
all the runners. It's
GG's.
fun. We'll see what happens
Good
the rest of
times.
the week.
Yeah, I'm excited to see several more of these get run and participate in one of them and experience my own suffering.
Yeah, so
And
more
for
races
anybody out there
Thursday.
for anybody out there who has not tried FFR, like I said, don't try these flags to start, but we
No,
have plenty of beginner flag sets, and we're gonna be having a duckling derby here, I feel like in the very near future.
We'll
So
Duckling
have the
Rally.
Duckling Rally, which is going to
Yeah,
be an async version of what we do. We have I think it's just going to be 4 weeks, no championship. Just come in, hang out, race. You get a practice seed early in the week, then you get the real seed late in the week, and you can there's just going to be a leaderboard. Ducklings and pros are allowed to play in it, but only the ducklings actually get credit. The pros are just listed on the leading board for comparison.
that's
Um,
fantastic.
yeah. So and then whoever gets the top score after 4 weeks is the winner. Easy.
Nice. So anybody who hasn't tried this out, come on in. We have a fantastic community who's willing to help anybody out. We can teach everybody all the ins and outs of the randomizer, and all these seeds that these guys put together are going to be amazing to teach you all the different routing decisions and what goes where, what do you need to have, and of course, the ultimate how to kill chaos.
yeah. Like Potato said, it seems like a lot, but once you start, it's honestly there's so much helpful information out there. It's very easy to get into.
Yeah, it was overwhelming from the outside, but as soon as I stepped foot in, right, there's a lot of resources and people willing to help and guide you through, and lots of runs to watch spread out across all the people that run this on a regular basis and all the tournaments that are always going on. So
Yep.
lots
There's
of
always pickup
information
races.
to
There's always something
absorb.
going on. mean, yeah, more races coming up this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I believe. I can't remember the times off the top of my head, but it's going to be this flag set. Hopefully a little bit nicer than this one.
We'll see, right?
we'll
Yeah,
see.
you never
Eh?
know. That's a tri-state question right there. Will they be better or not? Right? I mean, you don't know. They can be just as mean or even worse.
I mean, Blueberry, it's been a lot of fun. If you guys want to say, all the goodbyes and whatnot.
Thanks again, everybody, for showing up. Thanks to our trackers, Guardian, Marcus, and Bujmano, for helping out, clicking all the buttons as the runners ran around. And again, thanks to Fabian Hawk for getting us set up on Restream tonight.